In assignment 5, we begin to look at the statement of cash flows. Remember, the statement of cash flows tells the reader of the financial statements where the company gets cash and where it uses cash. Now, the primary difference between this statement and everything else within the financial statements is this statement does not use the accrual basis of accounting. So, therefore, what you see at the beginning of the statement for most companies is what's known as a reconciliation of net income to cash flow from operations. In other words, what did the day to day activities of the company produce in this manner of cash that the company could use for other purposes? There are two other sections to this financial statement. One is cash flows from financing operations, and the other is cash flows from investing operations. Now, cash flow from financing operations is those activities of the company that relate to debt additions and debt repayment. The investing activities relate to those activities that go on to increase assets, reflect the sales or disposition of assets. And so, if you are having some opportunities remembering how to calculate these amounts, please read the reading data very carefully. It is the reading for this chapter provides a very detailed explanation of how the statement of cash flows is put together, in which each one of the individual sections of the statement tell us about the company. So read those very carefully. I think they'll be very beneficial to you in answering these questions. Now, where we start with this is the first thing is on the Word document is it says indicate what the totals were for various and sundry portions of the statement of cash flows. So you're going to start out with what's operating, what's investing, what's financing. For most companies, what you'll find is that the investing in financing activities may be negative amounts. So be sure that you show those on this statement as negative amounts. Just put them in brackets when you're uh, completing the worksheet. The next question is what's the most significant sources of cash? Now, look to all sections of the statement for those sources of cash. In other words, what activities provided cash to the company? The next section is what are the most significant uses of cash. Now, again, look to all sections. You may find that there are some operating activities that use cash. Um, so look at those very carefully. But list the three largest uses of cash and the three largest sources of cash when you're completing this. Uh, the last question on this says that based upon a comparison of the income statement to the statement of cash flows, what's the biggest differences between net income and cash flow from operations? Now, the easiest way to answer this question is to look specifically at the statement itself because this company uses a reconciliation method that shows those changes or that reconciliation of net income to cash flow from operations right on the face of the financial statement. So look to the statement itself to answer these questions. Now, the last piece of this assignment is the Excel spreadsheet. This one is fairly straightforward. It says what's net income. Now, uh, go to the statement of cash flows. That's the beginning number. And then it says how does that compare to cash flow from operations. So again, that's a number that comes right off the face of the financial statements. Now you'll notice that this Excel spreadsheet asks for 3 years worth of information. You don't have to go outside of the 2017 financial statements to get that information, because the statement of cash flows is presented in a 3-year format in the financial statements. I think that will answer most of the questions that you might have regarding this assignment. As usual, should you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Thank you.